I'm Jenny Colucci, and tonight I have the absolute privilege of introducing Ronald and Bobby's guests. They are Todd and Carmella KOKOTAJLO from 222 Paranormal Investigation and Research out of Columbus, New Jersey. A little bit of background on these two wonderful people that we call Team Coco. Carmella was born in Philadelphia, Pennsylvania, and she grew up in the Trenton, New Jersey area. And she's currently a dental assistant in Hamilton Square for a local dental group. Todd was born and raised in the Trenton, New Jersey area, and he works for the New Jersey Department of Corrections as a vocational teacher. They met in high school, and they met through mutual friends. After 4 times asking Carmella out, she finally said yes, and they started dating officially. And now they've been married for 26 years and together for 33 years. Congratulations. They have 2 grown sons named Robert and TJ. They found that as their sons grew up, that they had freedom on the weekends and evenings. So they had more time. And a little bit about their paranormal journey. So in their 20s and through their mid 40s, they went to various vacations and outings, and they would attend haunted history tours or ghost tours. And they always wondered if the stories of paranormal activity were actually true. So some of the places they used to go to these tours were Alcatraz, Key West, Philadelphia, and St. Augustine, to name a few. During many of the tours, Carmella would have some type of experience. She would have her hair tugged, she would be touched, whispering in her ear, and sometimes she would witness a figure. They would witness a figure. And it really piqued their interest. So a little over a year ago, they had the opportunity to attend a local ghost investigation at a 1812 vacant restaurant, really close to them, about 5 minutes away. And it was reported to have paranormal activity. And after attending multiple events there, they were invited to join as investigators. And so began their paranormal investigation journey. They'd like everyone to know that in a short period of time, they have met some great investigators who have helped guide them on investigation methods and techniques. And a few of them have become like family, and I consider them my para family. They're also extremely fortunate, they say, to be centrally located with so many locations that are rich in history, and they approach every investigation with an open mind. So they prefer going in to an investigation without any history or knowledge of specific activity that the location might be known for. Now, Todd and Carmella use a combination of tech, phone, Polaroid camera equipment, combined with a phrase that Todd borrowed from the one and only legendary Ron Yacovetti, and that is, say it together with me, timing and relevance, to help aid with validating activity. More recently, Todd and Carmella have shifted from ghost investigating to research-based thought processes of spirit communication and trying to answer the question, what happens when our life's journey here on Earth ends? Enjoy the show. These are wonderful, wonderful people. Enjoy everything they have to say. Have a great show, everyone.
That's what I should say. How do you know? Is it 222 or 222? Gee, that messaged me earlier today.
Welcome to the show.
Hey guys, hello. Thanks for the invite, and that was an awesome.
Kadia, welcome Ron, Genghis, and I think we all just got Genghis.
Yeah, we don't know who's on Facebook. Go ahead. Sorry, Todd. Go ahead.
Oh, you're good. So that was a very pleasant surprise with that intro from Jenny, who we absolutely consider power family, and very nice to have her read that intro.
Oh yeah,
and stuff. So that was very, very, very cool. So
I'll tell you a little secret behind the scenes. I asked her, hey, could you do a recording? And I didn't expect a video, but she said, do you want a video? And I said, well, yeah.
very cool.
Very nice.
Funny because she actually messaged me earlier. She was like, and she's like, "How do you say? Is it? Do you say it like 222 or is it like 222?" And I says, "No, usually, occasionally we would say 222, but then it was pretty much it's 222." So
What was that TV show, Apartment 222?
yeah,
I don't know.
I'll have to look it up now.
It's a comedy. It was supposed to be a comedy, and it was like in the, what was it, the late 80s or something like that?
Gotcha.
Yeah, just room 222 or apartment 222. I can't remember.
Maybe it was apartment 222. I kind of
Yeah.
remember that. I don't know why.
Yeah, it was just about roommates trying to live in that time, and it was facing all the hardships of life,
Right.
and which we all had to.
Yeah, right.
All right, so Bobby, you got some. Want to start with some evidence and let them talk, or do you guys want to share some words?
Hold on. I need to lower my headset quick.
Whatever you guys want to do. I mean, we're
Yeah.
flexible.
So what was the question again?
However you want to go with it. We can.
I'm going to let Bobby run the buttons.
Sounds good.
All right. We never made the time to get the clips at the ready. I think Ron probably forgot so easy. So
Well,
let's
that's part
see.
of being old, though.
Yeah.
That's all right. We just listen. So we just turned 50, and we joke. We look. What did we just say? We forget what we were just talking about 10 seconds ago.
Yeah. And I have a little thing about that. Just there's a little thing where Einstein called it, I believe, the tip of the tongue, right?
Yeah.
Well, that's a whole different thing, and that's trying to explain it for a sensible way of looking at it for our point of view right now. What I call it is our spirit is actually transferred for just maybe a second. We don't even notice it. From one point to the next point, we don't notice that transference.
Right.
Okay. I believe in parallel universes, parallel Earth. Okay. I believe that's possible. I believe that they are out there. How to explain that or prove it? There ain't no way. But anyway, when you have that forgetful moment and then you come back on track and you're back into the conversation, where you're talking about something and all of a sudden you lose train of thought.
Yep.
Oh, I forgot what I was talking about. And then all of a sudden you come back and catch up to the conversation. Oh, no, that's what I was thinking about. You've had that happen, I know.
Oh, absolutely.
All the time.
And so that's called a energy transference of our inner self, our spiritual energy. We transfer it to the other place just for a minute. They're transferred over here. Okay. So we switch places. And we're over there on that other planet. What the heck's going on? Right? And then we come back into the conversation, and then you catch up to the conversation, you're fine. But for that split second, you're trying to figure it out. The person that is switching with you, which is you on the other planet, is thinking, what is this conversation about?
Mm-hmm.
And then you come back to you get switched again, back to your normal self, and it's like, now I can catch up with it. But where were you for that 30 seconds or 30th of a second, whatever, microsecond or whatever, nanosecond, and where were you for that moment that we forgot?
Makes sense.
So,
It makes sense.
but go ahead, Bobby.
Yeah, so Todd and Camellia and Ron, if you were off to look at the private chat, because we never made the time to organize the clips as planned. So if there was a specific one you want to start with, we can do that.
Nah, just go right through, how it is, how I gave you guys access. You can just start with number one and go right down the line and kind of open up each one and just kind of go each one and just
they can explain it or
just tell us what the first one. I think actually I can open it up. I think the first one
okay, so the first one is
it should be New Egypt Historical Society,
yeah.
right?
Yeah. All right. So the first one I see is Hair Touch, Spirit, Whistle, Penhurst, and Candyland.
No,
Candyland. Well, whatever.
well, that's fine. Yeah. So the
I just got to get it at the ready.
gotcha. So what is it? It's
Candyland.
Candyland, hair touching. All right, so that's Penhurst. That's fine. So yeah, you got Penhurst. So that
That's
was
a scary place.
yeah, that was we've been there, I think, how many times now?
At least
Two,
or
I think two times.
Yeah.
2 times I think we've been there. And we've had a couple, weird experiences. So the first one is I think the hair touching is we're in Candyland and we're walking down. We're with another team investigator that we investigate with, Kelly, and we're walking, and then you hear Carmella say that she's like she's getting touched,
Mhm.
and then we end up hearing. You'll hear it might be a little bit hard. You might have to turn your speakers up or sound up, but you do hear. We don't hear it real time, but on the audio playback, you hear an actual whistle. And there's only 3 of us in the basement in Candyland. There was other people were in other parts on the grounds and stuff. So that's what this first one is: hair touching and whistle.
Yeah, so let's play it.
Is he touching Carmella again? Behind Kelly? That's me.
Whoa.
So yeah, it's hard. I know it's because it's like it comes through when I turn, when you see us turn. That's why I say you almost got to put like headphones on and turn it on, because it's almost like off in the distance, but
Yeah.
it's there. So
Oh yeah.
So that was an interesting kind of experience. And and any investigator, when you're going on doing when you're on an investigation, and then the excitement is, are you going to catch something on review?
Yeah.
Because sometimes, like we've heard and talked with other investigators, sometimes there's nothing really going on, or you think it's a kind of a boring night, so to speak. And the next thing you know, you're getting all kinds of captures on EVP and on video evidence and stuff.
Yeah.
So.
All right, Bobby.
I'm trying to do something here, but sometimes how computers are retarded. They can do it.
Hey, don't use that R word. That's bad.
That would be.
Yeah.
You might get in trouble for using that word.
Yeah.
Hey, how are you?
Technology is a pain.
Yeah, Marina's here. Genghis is here. Ufi is here.
Hey, RL.
And RL, yep.
So thanks for popping on the show.
And if you guys need some questions, I'm sure Ufi can fire up some questions for us.
Yeah, Ufi always asks good hard questions.
Yeah.
I'm like, man, that's some in-depth thinking going on there.
Didn't do it right. Yeah, hold on, I'm working.
While you're doing that, let me ask you a question. When you have an experiment or experience like that one there, where you heard whistling, or you heard a whispering, or you might have definitely sensed something, but what was your first thought? Was it like, oh shit? or is it like, ooh, do you run to it, or do you like kind of get chills and want to run out?
Me, I want to run out.
Yeah. But yet you're there to investigate, so it's like you got to be tough.
We'll get to one of the clips. We'll talk about it, but like, yeah, she's gotten better. She doesn't run anymore.
I ran once.
She ran once.
Once I got scared and I ran.
But
one of the clips I would do. Yeah.
My response to hearing like a disembodied whistle or voice or something, a whisper or whatever, you'll see it when we get to it. Is when we show the Mount Holly Burlington County Prison clip. we actually get a disembodied voice, and it's like my voice was like, was that you? You know, but we'll talk about that when we get to it. But it's like, oh shit, that was part of my language. That's like, did I just really hear that type of thing?
All right. So the next one we have is men's bathroom shower EPP.
Ooh.
So that was at Burlington County,
So
the
that's
jail.
so that's yeah. So that's actually that is probably that's the Burlington County Prison most likely.
All right, here we go.
Yep.
South Africa's advice. She has something like a speaker or something, like a spirit box.
So yeah, that's the one I was just talking about. So that's you can actually hear. So in the beginning where it says the text, that's Carmella, because we're hearing something. She was reading, it came across the Phasma box, I think, right? And then we hear who knows, and then we hear bang. That actually we heard it disembodied. We were like, we thought it was one of our team members down the hallway around a corner from us. So that's why you hear me ask, like, was that you or was that like so-and-so down the hallway? And then we realized, and that was like, oh shit, did I just really hear that? And yes, we really did hear it.
Yeah. I could hear the difference between your voice and even Carmella's voice. I can hear the difference.
Right.
Between the one that said what the message was on the recording. So you can definitely tell that it's in a different, so-called a different realm or different place.
Different vocal tone or whatever.
Yeah.
So the one thing is, when we were replaying it, listening to it, and I know I put who knows because that's just what we were hearing. But now, even just tonight, I was thinking the context of it was the Burlington County Prison where there was hangings, there was prisoners there, may have been there for robbery and stuff. Instead of who knows, I just said to Carmella before we came on, I said, you know what? I'm thinking about it a little bit more. I says, it may have been he knows, and then bang, like it was reenacting like, hey, this is what that inmate did. He shot somebody because he knew or found out about a crime that he possibly committed. And then bang, that was the, saying that's what he did to him. He basically shot him.
Wow.
Okay, so do you believe Penhurst laser, razor grid on off?
Yeah, that was Penhurst.
Right. So that's back to Penhurst. So that was that first clip that we saw. So when we go, it's a continuation. So that actually, the whistle that we heard happened first. And then she's got, I think, what'd you have? Was it the Spirit Talker or was it the Spirit app?
The app.
Yeah, I think it was Spirit Talker app. Something comes across. What was it? It was Let Us Rest.
Yeah.
And then you'll kind of hear what happens. And we have a laser grid, and then it goes on 2 or 3 times on command. So we're like, okay.
Wow. All right, here we go.
If you don't set up any devices, we're going to stay here all night. Can you please touch one of the devices for us? What? Did the battery die or they shut it off? Well, let it be. Can you turn that back on? Thank you. Thank you. Does that mean you want us to leave so you can rest? Yep. All right. Thank you very much. All right. We're going to let you rest. Thank you for communicating with us. So did you see the laser grid? So the laser grid's pointed across at the door coming into Candyland there. And it's actually on the chair. When I turn and pan and I look at Kelly, who was down there with us, she's like a 2 or 3 feet to the left of the chair. So it's not her bumping or touching anything, kind of accidentally making it go off. And then I asked, we were relatively still new to investigation when we came to Pennhurst. And I had the presence of mind, I guess, to say, because at first I'm like, oh, did the batteries go out on the laser grid? Maybe that's why it shut off. And I'm like, well, no, maybe. And then we both said the same thing, Kelly and I. We said, hey, maybe it was the spirits. So that's why I asked the question. I says, if it was you, can you turn it back on? And guess what happened? It came right back on. And then we were like, all right, if you want to let it rest, if you want us to let you rest, can you turn it back off? And then boop, off. And we were like, okay, I'm chuckling because it's like, holy cow, these are first experiences for us. And we're like, it's like
So
when it actually happened.
RL and Greg, men's bathroom shower.
So you don't know. So that it's the same one. It might be it's the video version of that last clip of the who knows, he knows, and the bang. So it's just, you actually hear it. You may not hear it as good as the EVP.
And StreamYard is sometimes a headache with that, as far as the volume.
But yeah, so but yeah, you definitely. So that's all that is in there is.
Really?
Is that Erica's device? Can you hear something like a speaker or something? Yeah. Like a spirit box.
Wow.
So not only did we hear it with our own ears, audibly disembodied, you hear it on the video camera that we had set up. You actually hear it.
Was there something down that hallway, or was that just
That was, I think it was like the upstairs showers, bathrooms. So it was like all the way down. And then as you walk down that hallway, there's individual cells or whatever where they would, I guess, shower and bathe and stuff like that. But that was like a back access.
Because unless it was my imagination, it appeared to me that there was some movement down in the black area.
That's what I said. I said that a few times.
Yeah.
There's something down there.
Yeah, she was feeling it. And that's good. I mean, I looked at that camera view a few times, and it's possible I just wasn't picking up on it or seeing it.
And I picked up on it. It's like, what?
Yep.
I kept saying it.
Like, blinked my eyes a couple times, like, what am I looking, what?
Yeah. That's what I said.
Yeah.
All right.
Because when you sometimes you think it's just the shadows or your eyes playing tricks on you and stuff like that.
Yeah.
All right. Thomas Reed Whitehill Mansion.
So this is Whitehill Mansion, where actually they got their Paracon tomorrow, so we're going there tomorrow. It's
Nice.
It's 13-minute drive for us. And this actually, so in the basement, if you look on their website, Whitehill Mansion's, their history. So I was just going through the history when we were in the basement doing a Q&A session. And I'm like, hey, Thomas Reed, it says that you died here in 88. Did you die here? We get a response on the REM pod. And then I said, were you sick? is that why he died? And then we kind of get the response. So.
All right, rolling bin.
All right, go ahead. You can, this little device right here that I'm pointing to on the bar, you can speak into that. This is actually just from last weekend.
Oh.
So I know I'm going to, just to try and reconfirm, the last time I was here, I asked about Thomas Reed. Is that who I'm speaking to right now? Thomas Reed, did you die in Whitehall back in the 1800s? Thank you. I appreciate that. I really do. So that's actually, if you see, there was two of them, I think, Bobby. There's one that I think says 1, and then there's a second one, that one has number 2 next to it. So that was actually like a week and a half ago. That was the follow-up, and I did a solo in the basement. Carmella didn't come with us. She was a little bit tired and under the weather. So that was the follow-up, and I wanted to see on follow-ups that we've been trying to do if we get similar responses or experiences to the first time we visited a location. Mm-hmm. And that right there, now that was using the dead bell that we just started using, and we're taking a liking to it. But the other one that you'll hopefully see is
I showed this yesterday on Marine Show.
Showed that yesterday. So.
This one actually rang. I had it sitting over here on my table, minding my own business. It was minding its own business. I'm sitting here watching a show, Netflix movie or whatever, and all of a sudden the thing dings. Like, what?
So we got a couple of images that's in the lay of the clips. Can you explain what happened here?
Sure. So you want to explain? You know what that one is, right? That's
That's
Penhurst.
In the which building?
Devon building, in the basement of Devon.
So I kept saying I felt like there was a heartbeat. There was something, my hand was swelling. Something was going on. So if you look at the bottom of my hand, you see my veins popping out. Mm-hmm. And then it says, I don't remember what he said. I scratched her, I pinched her, something. And if you look, I'm pointing like you could see it. You could see like those indentations on my arm.
You can see right by her, by the left side of her wrist, or the right side of the picture of when you're looking at it. You can see the 2 little indentations as if like she was actually being, gripped or held. Something was grabbing her in her wrist.
It was the janitor in the basement. He picks on women.
Yeah.
Oh, wow.
So he said he did it.
Yeah.
That's interesting. Yeah.
Out of the way.
Now, did that give you chills, or did you want to know more about what was going on?
Well, they told us ahead of time that he likes to pick on women. He does certain things to women, but I just kept shaking my hand like something's wrong with my hand. I don't know what it is. And I looked and I went, "Oh, that's not normal."
Yeah. And I'm trying to think. So that in that area where it happened, it was like the boiler. It was the boiler room. They call it the boiler room. And the minute, I think when we went out, right, everything kind of stopped. Like we didn't have just outside. As soon as you get out of that boiler room, it's like kind of.
We had something happen. Something lit up. A ball,
yeah,
cat ball lit up.
Ball
something in the other room next door to it.
But
yeah.
So do you think they might be telling you to like stay out or go away? Or
he doesn't like women.
Yeah,
okay.
so
that's why he picks on the women, because he doesn't like them. He wants you out.
Well, that's not very nice at all.
No.
All right, so Carmella basement ground hits.
Oh, that was in New Egypt.
That was our first. So New Egypt Historical Society. Some of the people, investigators that we started with about a little over a year and a half ago. So we got access to start doing investigations there, and we were sitting in the basement, and in the back room we had laser grid set up and doing a Q&A session with the Phasma box. she's got the, so she was nervous, apprehensive about going in there into the, and just kind of sitting there by herself.
I don't like basements.
She doesn't like basements. But we were just, you know, we were all, there was like 6 of us down there. We were just sitting outside, and then we're kind of talking, and then same thing. This, you might be hard to hear, but you definitely you hear a hiss and a growl or whatever. And it's like, we thought it came from the Phasma box. It doesn't come from the Phasma box. It actually comes from inside the room.
All right. It's Norella now.
Okay, I don't like that. I don't know what that was. It like growled at me in the corner. Did you hear it?
I heard something. Yeah, I heard something.
Yeah, I was in the corner.
I thought that came out of that.
No,
That didn't come out of
that
that.
didn't come out of that.
What the
That was in the corner over there.
I did too.
No, I said, tell me how we can help you. In the corner. What is this?
That
It's
wasn't
not
that.
that, no. Yeah, done. I'm out.
Yeah, I heard it too. I thought it came out of that.
She's tapping out.
I'm tapping out. I'm out. I'm done. Bye-bye. Did you hear the hiss?
I did hear something when I first listened to, yeah.
Yeah.
And yeah, I know on the StreamYard they tend to lose the audio quality.
Right. So yeah, we were down there, and actually, so if you heard of Ghost of Magazine, so Danger Close, aka Mike, and the person that dropped the F-bomb, Errt, who we've investigated with, yeah, we couldn't believe it. We're like, what the heck?
Yeah.
So
Yeah, I got multiple things going on, so it's going
you're
to be
good,
a
Bobby.
little.
Whenever, yeah, you're good. Whatever you hit us with, whatever one you want to pop up, and we'll talk about it. So
All right, so we got EBP. Get to the ground.
So EVP, get to the ground. That's Penhurst.
Is it?
I think it's Penhurst.
Oh, it was.
I think it's.
Yeah, I think it was
It's in the Mayflower, 3rd floor Mayflower, which
Oh,
is.
I didn't like that room. I
Yeah,
did
she
not
doesn't.
like that.
That's another one. She doesn't like basements, and she
Third
on
floors.
record she doesn't like the 3rd floor of the Mayflower building. Mental note check.
Yeah.
So we're actually doing, and there's a couple in that file or whatever. There's a couple video clips. One is audio, and then there's actual video, I think, and it's get to the ground, where you actually don't hear it in real time, but it's captured at EVP. It's pretty wild what you hear during the questioning. Are you in here with me? Can you tell me your name? Are you a male or female?
Dust. It's a goose demon wet dust. Google.
Can you tell me how old you are?
It's very cold.
So that was down the hallway from the Candyland room. I thought.
That was.
I
I thought it was
What was
upstairs.
that app? What is that app you're using?
Spirit Talker.
Spirit Talker, but that get to the ground wasn't. That was EVP. Like that's clears. That's on review. So that's not coming off any device. That's what when we reviewed. That's what was on there. So that was not get to the ground was not anything coming from any device. It just, that's the EVP that was captured on that camera. So, and we were, I think we shared that piece of information when we were on EVPE, and I think somebody had brought up, because the Pennhurst, the state school for children, and they, I think somebody brought up and talked about maybe it was like a fire drill or something, like get to the ground type of thing. So it could have been like residual, kind of just like a residual kind of energy or occurrence of, hey, it's just repeating that, get to the ground type of thing, maybe during a fire drill, or who knows. And then I saw RL is he asked about the guy in the basement at Pennhurst. Was he? Yeah, we don't know if that's the same person. The janitor has that same name. If they gave him the Predator, it might be. It's very possible. RL.
And sorry about that, guys. I had myself on mute. Gettysburg Historic Wrangler Lodge Catball Rose.
So this is what we were talking about just beforehand. Well, you want to talk? So it's
which one?
Say it again, Bobby. Which one was it?
Just play it.
Yeah, just go ahead and play it, and then we'll talk about it.
Gettysburg Historic Wrangler Lodge Catball Rose.
Rolls. Yeah, so rolls. So you want to talk about it? So
watch it first.
Yep, watch it, and then we'll talk about it.
I'd rather watch it.
Yeah.
You afraid of me?
Chris, are you afraid of your sister? Baby.
I'm a baby or you're a baby? I am the baby, but
You win.
act like a baby. Not.
I heard you win.
Do I win?
I heard that's what I heard.
Is
You
it
win.
the Powerball or the Mega? You win. I didn't hear that before. Fun we had before we invited or.
Mm-hmm.
Why did you share with everyone?
Oh, whoa. Whoa.
Wow. Did you just touch that and make that ball move?
It's still moving.
That's crazy. I got that on camera too.
Yeah, we're still.
Yes.
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 Thank
Yes.
you. Who touched that? What's your name?
I heard Chris.
That was cool.
I heard Chris did it. And then we said gas.
Mm-hmm. Yes.
All right, now before that ball starts moving, all right, don't do it now, but on your own time, like go back and look at right before that starts moving, and I see, again, it could be just my vision, but I thought I saw some kind of haze or something in front of that ball in the back, because it almost looked like the ball in the back was moving a little bit before, but it didn't light up.
Okay.
I just thought I saw it move just slightly, or something went in front of it, almost like a gray smoke, not really black, but it was like gray smoke.
Well, that would make sense, because didn't you? So that was our first time at Rainworth Lodge.
Okay.
The second time there, at that same table, you were sitting kind of over to the right where I was sitting, or no, you were sitting in the same spot looking towards the kitchen. And what did you see up in the air?
I saw the haze.
She saw like a white haze. So
Yeah,
that makes perfect sense.
So I'm not crazy, and I'm seeing some of that too.
Right. You're not
and
crazy.
I've seen some of that at Gettysburg too.
Yep.
Yeah.
So the context behind that video is Chris. Chris is Carmella's brother. Unfortunately, he passed away a few years ago.
Oh.
And when you're on investigations, and even with when we've been at Statacom sessions, you're not necessarily looking for a relative or a family member that may have passed away to come through. It's nice when it does, but we weren't expecting it. So we were using the plasma box there, and then you can talk about it a little bit because it was, it
was just, we heard his name. There were certain things like, he would never let me win anything. And he says, you win. And then all of a sudden that ball moves by itself. And none of us were by the table. Like we were sitting, but not close enough to bump it.
Yeah.
So he said he moved it. We said, who did that? And he said he did it.
And the other thing, that floor and table itself is not level. There's 2 other cat balls on there. Like, if we had bumped the table, why did only that one kind of move and not the other 2?
And then it even flashed a little more frantically when you asked if it made it move it,
Right.
And you actually see it if you watch really close or zoom in, you actually see the ball start to move and roll first before the light triggers.
Now, when you go back and look at that on your own time, because we don't want to take all night on this one, but like if you go back and look at that don't try to imagine it in your own mind, but actually look at the video. Okay, look at that ball in the back. You got the rim pot in the middle. You got the 4 or 3 balls there, and then if you look at the ball in the back, it's not lit up. But I swore I saw some kind of hazy stuff in front of that ball. And then that one started lighting up and moving right after that.
Right.
So
we'll
definitely go back.
That's what I saw. And when I was at Gettysburg Sunday after everybody left, I was the only one that stayed until Monday because of my, I didn't want to, driving 18 hours to get there, I didn't. Take time off. But anyway, I had seen a black mist or smoke in my room. Right now, it was a darker smoke anyway. And anyway, I knew it was kind of darker because it made the TV dim. I have the TV on all the time wherever I go.
Yeah, me too.
And I have the computer on and everything's on. And I'm watching my computer, minding my own business, playing some music, and all of a sudden, the TV goes like a little bit dim. Why did that go dim? And I see a haze, a dark haze.
Kind of like. No, sorry. Go ahead. Finish up. Sorry.
I just said you got to get out of here. You don't belong here. It
reminds me. It reminds me of Jenny with her lights flashing on and off.
Yeah, there you go. Yeah, and then when I looked up in the corner of the room, I saw this kind of a silver crystally thing, which I considered to be a positive energy because it chased the dark cloud out of the room, and it was like peaceful or restful there. But what was interesting was everybody already left Sunday night or Sunday afternoon, whatever, and I'm like the only one there. I'm thinking, why was I the only one here? Now something's really going to happen, right?
Right.
And I'm minding my own business, and I got my headphones on, got my music playing, loud so that I don't hear any noises. And then someone knocks on my door. Okay? It's not the door upstairs. It's not the door next door. It's my room door. I know it, right?
Yeah.
So, of course, you're not supposed to open it, right? Because then you just let the spirit in. Okay? So, anyway, I go ahead and open it, right? And I look down the hall to see if anybody's playing a joke on me. Go all the way down the hall to the elevator. Nobody's anywhere. The elevators weren't moving. And it's like, what would that be? And then first thing everybody tells me when I tell that story, they say, "Oh, don't open the door when somebody."
You and her, when we see you in Gettysburg in a couple of months, you and her can share stories because she's had that same exact kind of thing happen to her. Me,
Yes.
I'm out.
We do have a question before we get to our next clip. What kind of energy triggers the ball?
Good question. I don't know. I would assume it would be what? Some type of something physically is moving that. Something had to create that initial push or touch to get that to start rolling.
Or
And
to make
then-
a light, or to make the light even something.
Right. Now,
Yeah.
the other thing is, and we had shared this with Chris Allgood, and he was saying it almost, and initially when we watched it, it almost looks like somebody's fingers on it and kind of doing this,
Yeah.
because it goes and then it stops and then it kind of comes back. And it's like, if it was slanted or the way the floor, like, why wouldn't it just keep rolling? And like, sometimes stuff just rolls right off the table.
Yeah.
So why did it not roll right off the table, and opposed to just kind of coming back and forth? So,
And so when you think about that, with the haze that I saw before that lights up, that would be the finger controlling the ball.
yeah,
Right.
yeah, very
Yeah.
possible. Yeah.
So I mean, I'm not making up what I see. I actually see it. So, and that's kind of odd on the computer screen, because I could be just imagining it.
Right.
Yeah. And welcome, Kevin Hale.
Hi,
And
Kevin. How are you, Kevin? Thanks for hopping on.
Hey,
Okay,
oh yeah,
so-
Happy Mother's Day to everybody, but all the moms out there.
Thanks.
me and Ron lost our
Happy
mothers.
Mother's Day.
Yeah.
But it's also would have been my mother's birthday today if she was still around.
Happy birthday to your mom. Happy heavenly birthday to her.
Yes. Okay. We have an EBB clip. It's on just says ghosts.
That's Penhurst also, and that's probably in that same area when we were asking questions. Did you die here? And then we get that response. We get this response.
All right. Growing. Here we go.
How many years were you a patient here? Did you die here? So that's yeah, that was at Penhurst. That was on the same, I think that was in Mayflower on the 3rd floor also, when we were doing a Q&A EVP session. Excuse me. And that same thing, that wasn't heard real time, but clear as day. When we played it back, I was like, what?
Yeah, interesting.
Yeah. So, Penhurst Steakhouse.
Okay, now I got noises.
I guess we're rolling.
What is this?
Penhurst Steakhouse.
No, is it PH?
Yeah, PH.
PH Steakhouse. So this was the event with a couple last weekend or 2 weekends ago with Rich Michelle. Jenny was there, Anthony Simonelli, Jenny Coluccio for Parasite, Ron and Lourdes, and Nicole and Lisa from Full Moon Paranormal. So we got invited to come along, and it was neat to see how that kind of event went. And it was a great time. And I think this might be when we had the dead bell out pre-event, and you'll see what happens. Rich is kind of in disbelief.
Yes. All right.
And then wait till mention. You know I do.
My two PhDs.
I want it to be
Well, good looking
brown
people, so
jacket.
Jenny-
The brown jacket for love.
One, two. What? 1, 2. What? Did you hear that?
You were in front of it. I think that's on.
Oh. Is it a live photo?
Let's do it then.
That is wild.
If it is, you need to send it to me because I need evidence.
1, 2, 3. That is wild. Ready? One I love that. Okay, spirits, we're gonna do another photo. I'm gonna take one with my friends. It would take another. Ready? I'm gonna say you do it at 3. 1, 2, 3. No. No. They did. You have to have it on there now. Yeah, I got over here. I'm out of the way.
I think I put that on.
Man, so they came down, and Anthony's like, "You're not going to believe it. We went to take a picture. Richard went to take a selfie with the three of us, and it went off." Now you hear it, and you're like, "Oh, okay." You don't know the context of how immediate and then when we played it, we got home, we watched it, we were like, "Holy crap!"
And then I played it again when you said, play it again.
Play it again.
and then Richard being the professional, he's hey, let's try it again just to see if it happens again. And it was, like Anthony said, it was slightly delayed, but it was,
It's like he was playing a joke.
it was like, all right, hey, listen, I used all my energy. I dinged it right when I was supposed to say cheese. The ding was cheese. And then the second time he did it, it took, hey, it takes, the way we look at it is that it takes a little bit more energy so it was just a slight delay because maybe it took him a little bit more energy to set that bell off. And the other thing, so with that bell, I know your bell, Ronald, so yours is just a regular bell. Ours, it's twofold. So it's mounted on a box. So it uses EMF. So you can, so there is, when I turn it on, any device I usually put it on the lowest setting. And that's what, like when you turn it on to activate it, I have it on the lowest setting. So I've turned it on where it's all the way like mid or all the way up. And it's like, because the sensitivity is a little bit higher, you're getting kind of multiple quick responses from time to time. So I turn it right, just almost like you're ready to turn it off. And that's how it was set. But it was when we see that, and I love Rich's response. Like, that's priceless to me.
And see, every time, like last night when I was talking with Maureen and Jenny on Maureen's show there last night, I kept hearing things in my house, and then my internet dropped, but then it came back, but then I kept hearing noises outside of the headphones, but in the room. And that's what I'm hearing tonight, just talking to you. Every time I talk about these conversations.
We see you looking around there. I was curious if that's what's happening.
Well, I'm trying to see if I can sense anything, and I don't really sense anything, but I can definitely hear something.
Right.
And I don't know.
Okay.
Go ahead, Barbara.
So this one, I'm going to play it, and then I need an explanation of what happened there. So,
okay,
here we go.
Yeah, keep that. You can see the red coming in. Yeah, I'm doing a quick video too. Yeah.
Yes. Yeah. So what happened there?
We were in Mount Holly. We were in a little store. I don't remember what.
Yeah, I forget.
Store.
Yeah, I thought that was at the prison, but it wasn't. It was near the prison, but we were at a different site doing an investigation.
And it came across on my Phasma box that it said, "I scratched you." And there was a little girl that was in there that was talking and, going back and forth. And when I looked on my tattoo, you saw a scratch and it was all irritated around the tattoo. And she said, "I did it."
So yeah, if you look, and I know it's hard because of the lighting or whatever,
to see it,
but you can see like kind of down near her wrist on the one, when the camera angle changes a little bit, you see how like her wrist is a little bit on a reddish side and stuff like that it was irritated. So
yeah, and I could see her reaction too. It's not like she was just standing there minding her own business. She actually reacted to it. So yeah, that's interesting, man.
Yeah.
All
right.
Right,
okay.
like that tattoo.
That tattoo.
So now I can see the heart shape on the tattoo. I didn't realize.
You're trying to see it, right?
Yeah, I get
Not
what you're
just
saying.
Queen Bee.
Yeah. No, I just wonder why, like with the thing with my mom telling me no ink, don't write, we couldn't write numbers on our hand, you just write people's phone number on your hand,
Right.
I did that one time, and that was the last time I did that.
Right.
And so tattoos are a no for me.
right.
Just because I think my mom would come down and smack me in the head if I got one.
She probably would.
All right. So San Devon building postscript. I guess I should just go ahead and play it.
Yeah. Sorry. Yeah, go ahead and play it, and then we'll talk about it after.
Oh, yeah. Is your name Sam? Stretched.
Oh, it says Sam. I know Sam.
Sam. Oh, that's weird. Right?
Girl.
It says Sam.
Is your name Samantha?
Contrition.
Active contrition. That's crazy. There's Sam and Sam. So Sam was on the painted on here, and Sam is on the spirit box.
Wasn't this just the school?
That's weird.
Yeah, I love Sam. Would that be a woman saying that?
So
We don't really know.
We don't know. So that was at Pennhurst. That was on, I think that was Devon Building on the second floor. And we're walking down now. The device, I had a brain fart when I was, talking. It's called a polterscript. So it's like an ovulus. But the crazy thing is, as we're walking past that exact spot, and I didn't realize it, Carmella noticed it. You hear Sam come across the polterscript, literally as we're passing that painted Sam on the wall.
Mm-hmm.
And then it's like, that's weird. Like, why is that happening? Like timing and relevance. Like, why did it not happen like, downstairs or in a different part of the grounds or something like that? It happened literally as we were passing that specific spot. So, and then, you heard the girl. So it could have been, Sam could be short for Samantha. So was she a patient there? Was that a child? Her name was possibly Samantha. We don't know. I mean, because there's, it's got a huge history of patients. And then the contrition, from, our religious background, it's like, that's why I said, first thing that happened in my head, act of contrition, right? You're paying penance. You're saying an act of contrition for your sins, for, in the Roman Catholic, religion and stuff. So that's what popped into my head. So maybe, I don't know, but that was just the timing and relevance of, hey, walking by, you get Sam on the polterscript, and then literally as we're walking by. So that was pretty interesting.
Yeah. Fun. Yeah.
All right. Mm-hmm. Sam joined late cat ball.
Gotcha.
Okay, really.
Yep.
Rented out.
Right. So it could have been right. So it was rented out to farm.
Yeah.
So when the house was rented out, did the people that stay here work on the farm?
Sam did. Sam, is that you?
Is that why you told us to wait, so you could touch the ball to let us know that you were here? That's pretty neat.
Thank you. We appreciate that.
Oh, wow.
So the whole thing, that's a crazy. So that's back at the New Egypt Historical Society. That's when we were just kind of getting access, and we were researching the history. And it was, owned by many families. It dates back to, I think, like the even the 1700s. So it's the New Egypt Historical Society. And Matt, the other gentleman's voice that you hear is Matt, who we started investigating with, when we first started. And so we're just there. He was having some weird experiences. I'm like, you still there? I'm like, yeah, let me come over. So I was only 20 minutes. So I hopped on over, and we started doing a Q&A session. And that's the polterscript, like I said, like an ovulus. And we just started asking these questions, and same thing, timing, relevance. It's like, all right, we had it going. We were asking history, trying to go through the history that the Historical Society has. Okay. Sam was a owner or a farmer on the land, and that's, kind of just, we were going by what was coming across. And then it was just, it's pretty neat. Like you said, it's like, all right, Sam, it's like Sam coming through saying, hey, my name is Sam, he joined us. He's trying to communicate. And then it's like, wait, the cat ball goes off. We're like, holy cow. And then I asked that question, is that why you asked us to wait? And then you see the cat ball, it runs through its cycle. It stops for like a split second or two. And then when I asked that question, immediately it triggers in kind of response. So that whole timing that whole timing and relevance, it was just a pretty neat performance.
So before we get to our next one, we're clicked on the clips, so we got 2 more left. On that last clip that we just played, what was that device called that that had those words?
So it's called the Polter script. So I haven't used it recently. It's like I said, it's similar because ovuluses were hard to kind of come by until now. I know Ghost Stop, who is where I believe I purchased the Polter script from, who now actually with the gentleman that started making the ovuluses, they actually produce them now. It was a good device. We just we haven't used it recently. The one downside, it didn't like the words that come across, like it didn't store the words, so you could kind of go back and contextually try and tie the words that do come across to the historical aspect of the site and location where we're kind of investigating. But it was a good device. Same thing. I would always put that. I would set that. Same thing. It had a slider on it for sensitivity, and it had like different energy sensors on the front, the top, and the bottom part. Always put it on the lowest side.
Yeah. And a great comment from RL. A lot of kids at the Parenthouse had nothing mentally wrong with them, but had cerebral palsy, which used to be treated as a mental illness.
Right. Yeah. I remember. Talking about that just real quick. I want to say I was looking through. There was a post I saw one time, and it literally had a list of everything. Like if you had if you sneezed, they could have potentially put you into into a state home like that.
Okay, Union Hotel, Gettysburg Anomaly. Rowing film now.
Oh yeah. What is that? I saw that when I was looking at that one.
You can't miss that, right?
Yeah. And that's a pretty talented piece of dust.
I was going to say that if that's the fastest, kind of quickest, roundest looking piece of dust I've ever seen.
Yeah. And it moves back and forth and lets you know it's there.
Yeah.
See, what I see here at home is they always see, a lot of times they'll see like white dots flashing.
Right.
And some people will tell you better check your electric wiring, which it could be old, but I don't think that's coming through the walls.
And that comes up from the floor, and it's perfectly round. I mean, you can see it there, and then it stops. Like it full on stops, changes direction again, and it's translucent. You can see clearly right through it.
Yeah.
Now, I'll let Carmella finish the story because this happened at about 3:00 in the morning.
It was banging, hitting, and it was bothering me. In and out of the room. I saw something. I saw a man. He was in the room, out of our bedroom, and he just snored through the whole thing. And I'm just like, at 3, look, you have got to get up. I cannot do this anymore. I can't do this. I haven't slept in days. So he got up, and that's what he captured.
It was weird. So like I got up, and then I agree. That camera was, so it was like out in the common area, or the living room, so to speak, where we were staying in the hotel. I went and picked up the camera, and I'm just kind of panning and turning back, and then actually when you listen to that, I didn't initially hear when I first. It was more the visual, but you actually hear still knocking going on in the background audio wise while the clip, at normal speed, you actually hear knocking going on still.
Knocking. It sounded like furniture was moving. It was.
And we were the only 2 guests. I mean, it was us and then one other guest. And then when this happened, this was the second night that we stayed there because we stayed a Saturday and a Sunday night. This was Sunday night into Monday. It was like March. So it was down season. Like there's nobody there. It was like a ghost town, no pun intended. But we were the only ones in the building because I called back and asked, and the receptionist, she's like, yeah, you were the only ones in here that second night or whatever that you stayed here. So it's like, who's banging?
Who was doing it?
Who's banging the noise?
Who was doing it?
And what is that? Like, that's, is it dust?
Yeah. All right, so get to the ground and go. This is the last clip that we have received. Okay, not a problem.
Is there anybody in here with me? Can you tell me your name? Are you a male or female?
Dust. It's a ghost demon web, red, dust, scruple.
Can you tell me how old you are?
Yes, very cold.
Can you talk into this device for me that I'm holding? Are you stuck here? How many years were you a patient here? Did you die here? Can you tell us how many people are in this room?
It said in the beginning.
Yeah. So that was just kind of replay of that one. I apologize if I may have accidentally had that in that file or whatever. So do you have so Bobby, if you look, so I know there were on the files, I don't know what you got or if you pulled them off of the Dropbox.
Well, if you will look at the private chat, I was able to secure the clips that I have received in my OneDrive. So if you were up to look at my private chat, you would know what I have obtained.
Gotcha.
So on the right hand side on the
So
private
there
chat.
was some that was missed. Feel free to send it.
Gotcha. So there was, am I actually able to?
You should be able to click on that link. And it shouldn't mess you up. You should be able to go to the OneDrive page.
Gotcha. So where is it? So there's in the chat where it says
On the right hand side where it's,
gotcha. So I see a picture. There's the intro of Jenny. I see that's there. That's the only thing I'm seeing. Am I able to share my screen?
You should be able to.
So, because I have, so let me go.
yeah, if you're in the studio, you should be able to.
Oh, don't want that. So where it says present. So if I hit present, is that?
Yeah, present and then share. And then you gotta select the entire screen. You select the left window of this window here. And then you want to select sound, that little button you got to slide over to allow sound for the whole.
Gotcha. Got
and then
that.
you hit share.
And then I'm going to hit that. And there we go. Can you see that now?
Not you have to select, you have to select that window. Yeah, there you go.
Yeah.
So you can see that window, right?
Yep.
Yeah.
Very good. So what I'm going to do is, if that's okay, what I'm going to do is, so the next one, let's go to, so this is called Peachfield Plantation. This was another little place location that we went to when we were using the dead bell.
As long as you have the audio selected on that one screen I told you,
Yeah.
it should be good.
There should be a full screen at the bottom right.
Yep.
There you go.
Oh, now you just clicked it out.
No, what happened?
You had it. You had it. Try it again.
I had it. Where'd it go?
Patience.
Hit share.
Almost sounds like there's a cat under my house. I don't know. There's no cat under my house. I got a basement under there.
And want to welcome Jenny.
Hey,
Hi,
Jenny, how you doing?
I'll tell you what. Maybe it'll be easier for me to just send you the link to the folder again, and then you can, Bobby. You're more
Gifted.
gifted than I.
And here's Anthony from the Seekers Club of the Paranormal NYC.
Hey, Anthony.
Hey,
All right.
Anthony.
So now you need to guide me how to I guess stop. Oh, there you go. So stop screen.
There you
All
go.
right.
Yeah.
So I stopped.
Well, you got that part. You didn't close down the show. You're doing good. All right.
And we didn't kick myself out. So
That's right.
let me do real fast. I'm going to see if I can.
Hey, why is this here?
I don't know. Share folder.
Who's this?
Copy link.
I don't mind. It's Disney.
Right. So I'm going to drop the link into the chat. I'm hoping paste. And
Do the private chat so I can hear
you see it? You see that, Bobby?
Yeah, I got it. All right.
So that should hopefully give you access to the whole Dropbox, and then hopefully you should be able to kind of just go in there, and then you can kind of do what I was trying to do.
Yeah. And I was trying to pick.
More graceful.
I was trying to pick 6 or so of them because I didn't want to have 3 hours of evidence.
Yeah, no. Yeah. So you don't have to use I would say go through the, so if you see there's just this, not the files themselves that are numbered, Bobby, just there's like 1, 2, 3, there's the Peachfield ones and then the Ritz one. And then, you could show those, the Peachfield one and the Ritz one. They're kind of neat. So.
Yeah, the Ritz Theater.
And that's where
So
Jenny.
I'm downloading it right now.
Okay.
The Ritz Theater looks like a fun place to be.
Yeah, so the Ritz Theater is where Jenny and Frankie from Parasite, we were gracious enough to be able to go there and do investigations. That's actually where we met Anthony, Mr. Forget About It, for the first time. Hi, Anthony. Hi, Jenny. Jenny, that was a beautiful kind of intro that you did reading our bio. We truly appreciate that. And definitely you guys are Power family. But yeah, the Ritz Theater, we've had some good experiences. We've investigated with Jenny and Frankie there. Right. And the one clip in there, actually Jenny and there's a bunch of us there, but Jenny and Carmella kind of, you'll see, the responses that we got. We've gotten some good responses there.
So now, do you think that some of the activity is caused by our energy that we're putting out? Like we draw it to us. Like, for instance, in your case, Carmella, like you said at that one place, the guy didn't like a woman. Now that's not your fault. It's your woman. You're a woman because that's who you are. But I'm just saying that, would you maybe knowing that, and then you put out that energy, and then they want to give you that evidence or pick on you or some reason.
I'm trying to remember if we knew that ahead of time or after it happened. I think we knew it ahead of time that he was in the basement. So, I mean, yeah.
Okay.
I believe it. They know what you're thinking, right?
Yeah. I don't think they read our minds. I think we put that energy out.
Right.
you know. So like when you go to the grocery store, how many times do you look at somebody and you say, "Oh, don't mess with that person," or you might say, "Okay, you can say hi to that person. They're not going to bite your head off," but you know who's going to like you saying hi to them and who's not going to like.
You could read people,
Right, you
right?
can
And
read.
I definitely can do that.
So the one thing I would say is, with even when we've been doing investigations, which is kind of, talking, investigating with Ron and Lourdes and sitting through Statacom sessions, and and their kind of research on consciousness and analytical idealism. It kind of, I want to say, I understand what you're saying, Ronald, as far as, hey, you can kind of look at somebody and kind of you can kind of read their demeanor, so to speak. But I find it interesting when we're doing investigations and you're doing Q&A sessions, when there's times when you start to ask the question and the answer, or you get the response before you're even finishing the thought, the question.
With that thought in mind, I use, as you know, with my chatter sessions that I have, right. I came up with that name by accident, and I thought, well, they're chatting together. Let's just call it a chatter session.
Right.
And so I use the Paravox Pro System 3, and I use the Pasma Box together with that, and then I have Extreme Sense Paranormal apps on there. You've seen my screen before on the
the Phasma Box. That's the Phasma Box. Yep.
And then I use the Extreme Sense Paranormal, which uses a radar thing, a proximity thing, tells you where the spirits are close by. When they show up on radar, that means they're right here, And anyway, it also has voices come through and everything like that. Also has an EVP recorder that records every sound that comes through the system. And hey, Anthony, what? And then anyway.
Hey guys.
Hey guys, how you doing?
So listen, you want to ask, or am I going to ask? My question is, did you bring the cannolis?
The cannolis, they're gone.
Cannolis.
Hey, make it widescreen.
There you are. How you doing?
We're doing great. Thanks for having me on. Hi, Jenny. Thank you.
The cannolis are gone.
No.
Thank you very much for the gracious bio.
What's up?
Now, hey, Jenny.
Ron, Lourdes.
Now I know why you were asking me, Jenny. How you?
It's a little. You guys are a little low for us right now, but this is where we are tonight. This is.
All right.
Where are you?
Where are you at?
That place looks creepy.
Is this? Yeah. Are you getting any activity?
Hi guys.
Hey, Lourdes.
That's Ronald.
The Cocos.
The Cocos.
What's going on? Same Cocos. Hey, we got everybody here.
Let me see. Let me put glasses on. Let me see.
There they are.
222. Team Coco. There it is. Ronald, Bobby, Ricky, and Mike. I'm sorry, that's Boys to Men.
You got all of us tonight.
The Cocos.
They drop again. The Cocos.
How's your investigation going?
No, good.
It's done. It was good.
I can't get any louder.
Good.
Very
Can
good.
you hear us okay?
Yeah, we're good. We hear you. So
it was good, man. We had there's a police department right in this building, and at the end of the night, everybody went to pack up so we weren't late leaving the building. And I held my glasses up at the 3 police officers in the room, and I said, "Come through if you can see me, and tell them what I'm holding." And I'm waiting. I said, "If you can't see it, it's okay. Just say you can't see it." And the voice goes, "Glasses," and all the officers went.
Oh wow!
There's some officers now that don't want to work the night shift.
Yeah,
they don't want. OT's good, but it's not that good.
Yeah. OT's good.
Team Coco.
Yeah, the Cocos.
Yeah.
Very good.
Yeah, I figured we'd stop in and say hello.
We
just got done with our investigation. This is what, day 3. Tomorrow we got day 4 investigations. We're going to be in Burlington Prison. And in the morning we're going to be at White Hill Mansion.
Yeah.
Nice.
So
we'll see you tomorrow.
we've been
We'll be there.
we're having a hard time hearing you.
Yeah,
I see you guys tomorrow.
Yeah, we'll see you guys. We'll see you guys tomorrow.
And then you'll be at Burlington too?
Game at 8:30 in the morning.
See you back to Burlington too?
Yeah.
Oh, great. So yeah, that's going to be good.
Yeah.
By tomorrow night, I'm going to be like in a coma because, like I said, well, that's going to be my fourth to fifth location this week,
Wow.
and I haven't been home yet, so
Thank
it's
you.
going to be good. Okay.
Thank you
So-
for the note, Carmella. I hope you guys like the intro.
I'm trying to
Oh,
get
it was awesome. Thank you.
Surprise.
Okay. All right, guys, we're gonna head out because
Yep.
we're gonna try to find food out here.
Have a good night, you guys.
So have a good night. Good night, Ron.
Hasta la
pasta.
Hasta la
Okay.
pasta.
Good night, guys. Say good night.
Good
night. Team Coco.
Hey, Ron.
All right, guys. We'll talk. Thanks, Bobby. Thanks, Ron. We'll
All right.
talk. And
Good night.
I'll see you other guys tomorrow.
See you
All
guys.
right. Have a good night.
Have a good night. Thank you.
Drive safe.
If it's just us.
Wow.
That was fun. I
They
wasn't
are,
expecting
you know,
that one.
They are true. And just like, even though we haven't met you physically in person yet, you're good people. And that's what,
Well, you will in July.
we're trying to surround ourselves with good people and learn from.
And
people.
I met Anthony and Maureen and Ron Waters at Pine Bush last year.
Right.
Before we went to Gettysburg.
Right. Actually, hey, Bobby, if you could, I want to actually. There's one more. Were you able to download those clips?
I did.
So there's one more clip. Let me look. I just want to see what file it's under because it's funny. If you go up to, so if
Yeah,
you go,
hold on. Hang on. I'm getting there. Let me get myself directed first.
gotcha. So if you see, it's the second file. It says, excuse me. It says Bayonne Mason. If you open that up, and then if you can download that clip too. It's the first one is the knock.
Oh, the Selma Masonry. Mason?
No. It's the number 2 file, Bayonne Mason Lodge.
Leon Mason.
That's what Maureen was talking about, right?
Yeah.
So if you open that up, and then if you can download or queue up it says knock.
Knock. Take a seat. Bring my. Okay.
Yeah, if you could do that
All
one too, because that's a funny one.
That's the one Maureen was talking about.
Yeah, that was one Maureen was talking about with the dead bell, but that's just she's another person, individual that we've gotten to know and investigate with, and just great people, and it's having a good time and a fun time when you're investigating.
And everybody that you can hopefully you can trust,
Right.
And
Trust is huge.
That's a big part, and we fully trust, every individual, every one of them, that we've gotten to know.
All right. Are we ready?
Yep. Yeah, absolutely.
If he takes a seat, will the door knock for him? Is there going to be a knock on that door? And our bell is not rung. I'm sorry. Playing games. Oh my goodness.
That's what it said. It came up. Maureen had said, what's going on? And it came up on her thing and it said playing games.
Yeah.
And it said, you're playing games. And then the bell rung again.
So that's that's just one of those, having a great time, having a fun time during an investigation, and you're getting results, so and you're getting timing and relevance with the responses. But that was funny. So yeah. So Patrick, the gentleman that was walking around, he's one of the Mason members of the brothers from the Mason Lodge there in Bayonne. And we were trying to get some type of knock. So, can you knock? So he goes over to the door and knocks on the door. You hear him knock on the door. Then on the Spirit Talker, the Phasma box, I think
it said take a seat.
It said,
so it was
take a seat.
He was just pacing and pacing. So it was telling him just take a seat.
He was wearing a carpet out in the room that we were in.
And then I said, "Oh God, the bell hasn't rung. It's really quiet." And then you hear that first.
Yep.
Yeah.
Ding.
So
but again, with Maureen, we were having conversations with her. I forget what she had. Her radio, the little
the DR60 maybe or something. Yeah.
And then with my Phasma box,
Yep.
it was going back and forth. And they were just having a conversation between us.
Yeah. And that's kind of what I do with my apps on my show, is that they're all just talking to each other. And what's interesting is I have my speakers on my desktop running, and I run the apps on my laptop here, right? So I tune into my show on a desktop, and I mute my mic here so I don't have any feedback issue. And when I walk into the room, it sounds like there's 5 or 6 people talking in the room.
Right.
So if you tried to come into my house and do anything, you'd be trying to figure out who's talking first, right? Like, who's here? Who's talking? Because it actually sounds pretty clear when they're talking, and you don't know what.
Right.
Yeah.
And it's like, holy cow.
Yeah.
And so I got like at least, 4 or 5 or whatever, maybe more than that, people talking back and forth. Our spirits,
Yeah, it's
But,
pretty cool.
And they're here in this house, and they're right here.
And I remember I asked you earlier, I think before the show, I asked you about, and you think it's attached, it's more the land than the house itself with stuff like that.
Yeah.
So.
And but because the house is here, of course, this is where they congregate. This is where they hang out. Because heck, it's out of the cold, or it's out of the weather, or whatever.
Right. Maybe they're hanging out because it gets during, especially. Well, actually, so here, I was going to jokingly say this, but now I'm actually. So, do you notice the activity during the winter months when it's colder? It gets a little bit.
It doesn't make any difference. Doesn't make any difference.
Doesn't make any difference, because I was going to be like, well, maybe if the activity is like, hey, they're not saying, hey, it's cold outside, so they're inside hanging out with you because they didn't want to be outside in the cold.
There were quite a few times. Well, that might be. I might have more activity. Maybe I do have more, but I don't realize it at the time. I didn't really measure the sensitivity of how much activity. Now, when I did this, before I did the app thing on the chatter sessions, I would do a digital recorder, right? I have a handy recorder H6, which has very sensitive microphones, and it can have up to 4 more microphones added to it. But I don't use those. I just use 2 microphones on top. And it picks up every single noise that this house can make.
Really?
What I don't understand is, why is the house making noise? Okay? Like, I hear popping sounds. I hear feet shuffling across the floor, and I have carpet, and it sounds like they're walking on the wood or whatever, and things like that. So, but anyway, I think most of mine is residual activity from the land. We have the historical site called Petroglyphs, Jeffers Petroglyphs, which is a historical site, and it's in the news. It's registered historical site. The people that carved out the rocks and drew on those rocks were over 7,000 years ago.
Oh, wow.
Okay, so who knows what was going on here at that point?
Right.
The house was built in 1945. The land has been here, of course, forever, And so who knows what was going on. Upi has done some research on some of the voices that she heard on the digital recorder. And she said it sounded like they're farming. They're doing some farming. And she thought that she picked up Norse language, which my nationality is Danish. Okay.
Right.
So that would mean that area, that language,
Right.
And so if they're farming and talking about farming, the house isn't even here, they're just in the field doing their work,
Yeah.
Yeah.
and they're coming through, and I'm seeing them as they're doing their normal thing or whatever. I've seen apparitions here and things like that. So I mean, I'm very in tune with and willing to research this more and understand what I'm dealing with. And I don't know, Carmela, if you do any remote viewing or anything, but if you do, you can remote view my place.
Okay.
If you have that ability, and
Do we?
Can you remote view?
Oh, remote view? No, I don't. Not yet. No.
Not yet. She's
I'm
just
slow learner.
she's
all right.
just slowly starting to get kind of
Well,
open up. And
just be willing to accept that gift and be willing to try it out, but be prepared.
Right.
Keep yourself tied to reality.
That's my fear a little bit. I don't want it to
Yeah.
take over.
Yeah, well, no, don't let it do that. But if you have a gift, don't ignore it. That's the first thing. Now, I worked with when I was in high school. I was pretty much a loner, so to speak, and I worked. I was trying to work with. I always say black magic. I had a book of black magic, right?
Mhm.
And not. I wouldn't recommend that for anybody because that stays with you your whole life. Okay. Now, if it's usually a negative energy deal, and but I got pretty good at doing some of the simple spells in it. But again, I wouldn't recommend that for anybody.
Right.
And I'd rather just work with that was more being using negative witchcraft than anything else.
Right.
But there, I learned I had some certain gifts. So okay, what I could do is I could read auras even then.
Oh.
Okay. And the thing that scared the crap out of me is that I read, high school friend or high school person's aura, and I could see, oh, your whole family's messed up. I could see everything about their family, what was happening, why he was mad. I could see all that,
Mhm.
right? And that kind of scared me.
Right.
And so then I decided not to mess with black magic anymore. But then it was too late because I already kind of made some kind of deal,
it makes me think of the movie. What's the Disney movie with the three sisters?
Hocus Pocus.
Hocus Pocus, right?
Yeah.
And they go in and they're Halloween, and then the young virgin, he's like, "Yeah, what's gonna happen? Don't light the candle." What's he do? He lights the candle.
Oh boy, yeah, yeah. Don't mess with that stuff if you don't know. I mean, if you know what you're doing, you're talented with the gifts. Yes, use what you know is good, and try to steer away from the negative. But anyway, I was trying to search out if I can share my story about the salvation stories I like to share. I am a born again Christian. Okay, that's first thing. Whether you're religious or not, that makes no difference. I'm pretty much easygoing. I don't care what your faith is or whatever. If you believe, you don't. If you don't, that's fine. It don't matter. We're all the same. We're all spiritual beings trying to figure this out. Okay. But you don't have to be religious to be spiritual. And you don't have to be spiritual to be religious. That's all two different things.
That's all
But
it's doing.
in the sense of what happened to me was I was invited to go to the youth group when I was in high school by the pastor's son, right? But a new church was in town, and they met at the another schoolhouse across town or whatever. And the preacher's son asked me, "Hey, you want to go to the youth group?" And because he's trying to reach people for God, right?
Mhm.
And so I said, F no, I don't want nothing to do with you. Right? And that's how I responded, which was totally wrong response. Right? So then what happened was I thought I was big enough and I challenged God. I told the story before, but I challenged God. I said, God, I give you 1 year to show me who Jesus Christ, your son, is. To, prove to me and explain to me who he is, right? And again, I read the Bible, some of the Bible, not all of it, but I read some of it. And my grandmother was Christian Science, which was a whole nother thing, but I did get introduced to some of the things about Christianity. And I just didn't believe that this whole thing about Jesus Christ and everything was even real, and then getting saved and baptized in the Holy Spirit and everything like that. And so anyway, I said, I give you a whole year, like who am I to challenge God, right? And so I challenged him. And then that's when I kind of got into this whole use of black magic. I'm going totally the opposite direction to stay away from it, right?
Right.
And I learned that wasn't the right thing to do. I mean, I learned I had powers, or maybe something else, made it look like I had powers. I don't know. But in any case, I put the book away and got away from it. But again, that once you try it, then you're kind of stuck with it. It stays with you forever, and that's a thing you're going to be have an answer for later, way later, maybe next lifetime. But anyway, a year came by, and then I had this sleep paralysis issue. Okay.
Right.
Now I'm in California, summertime, windows open. It's July, or yeah, July of '79. I was saved. Yeah, so July, it's nice summer night, and I don't have a t-shirt on, and I'm just laying there. Not, I have shorts on, not to get any weirder. I didn't have a shirt on.
TMI,
Okay.
TMI.
And anyway, I was on my stomach, laying on my stomach, sound asleep, 2:30 about, and I felt this cold breeze coming over my shoulders. Now remember, I was studying spiritual stuff, right? Spirituality. I knew I can communicate with them. I knew I can control them. As a human being, we are more powerful than anything on this planet, including the spirits. Now, I wouldn't recommend going around challenging that, but in a real sense, so we are more powerful than anything in this universe and on this planet. Why? Now, as a Christian, I can say, well, because we're made in the power or in the image of God, and the Creator. And we're made in the image of the Creator. So that gives us, what do you call that? A sainthood or a kingship type of relationship with the Creator. Okay, so we're pretty high up there on the scale of who we are. Okay, so in that sense, though, I was paralyzed, and something grabbed me by my ankles and turned me over like I was on a barbecue thing, right? And flipped me over on my back. Now, I couldn't move. I couldn't move my arms. I couldn't move anything. All I could do was move my eyes. And I could hear someone talking to me saying, "It's time, you got to come with me." And I said, "Who are you?" And he said, I'm Satan, you're coming with me.
Oh.
And because of my challenge, right? My challenge. And then guess who I was calling when he said that? I found out who Jesus was. I called for Jesus, right?
Yeah.
And then Jesus showed up. Now, what I saw in my corner of my eye, in the corner of the room, I saw the negative energy telling me I'm gonna go with him. And I said, "No, I'm not." I'm screaming, and 3 o'clock in the morning, 2:45, 3 o'clock in the morning, and I'm screaming. Nobody hears me scream. Nobody comes in rushing in to hear me scream or find out what's going on.
Right.
And I see these two spirits. One's evil that I can perceive, and one's good, which I perceive to be Jesus, right? And Jesus says, "No, he's not going to go with you. He's going to stay with me and be with me." And then he told the negative energy to leave. And then all of a sudden, it's gone. And the negative energy was gone. Okay. Now, what happened after that was Jesus told me, "Oh, just go ahead and go back to sleep. You're all right. You're safe. You don't have to worry about that other situation. The deal's broken. You're going with me." Simple as that. So basically, right there, I was saved, so to speak, right?
Right.
But I had to go through the formality of the action of going to church on that Wednesday night,
Mm-hmm.
in July of '79, and I talked to the youth pastor. I didn't tell him about all this that went on in the room because obviously, and at that time, I would have been really whacked out, you know?
Right.
And so I just told him I wanted to go through the salvation process, you know, the prayer of salvation and receive the Holy Spirit and all that fun stuff. And many people don't believe in all that, but I did have something happen with me on that situation. And I got what you call born again then, or saved, or whatever you want to call it. You know, many people call it different things. You can call me crazy and make, you know, whatever you make fun of it or whatever. I don't care. But the point of the matter is, I've been better since then, and for the most part, I've been pretty good about how I handle myself. I believe that the spirits we talk to, most of the ones I talk about, of course, some of the Bible said we shouldn't do this, right? But then the problem is, Jesus tells us in the upper room with the 12 apostles after the resurrection, he says you need to test the spirits, right? So there are spirits. There are spirits. He says you need to test the spirits and be sure that they're of God.
Mm-hmm.
So you can look that up in the New Testament.
Mm-hmm.
After he was resurrected, he appears in the upper room. The doors are locked. The 12 apostles and the people that are with them in the upper room are scared for their life. I mean, they just killed Jesus, you know?
Right.
Okay. Now, Jesus appears in the room. All of a sudden, he's there. How does that work? And then what does he do with Thomas? He says, Thomas, come and check me. Make sure I'm a physical being, right? I have flesh and bone, but no blood and no, you know, I'm a real person though. I'm not a ghost. I'm not a spirit. So they believed in ghosts at that time. They believed in spirits.
Right.
Okay. So they are real. They are here. Now, who they are, who we're talking to, we don't really know. But we can hopefully safely assume that we're talking to human spirits.
Mm-hmm.
Right.
Okay. So I always ask them, are you human? Are you a human spirit? Usually I'll ask that. And of course, you know, you don't know if they're being honest or not, but
Right.
A lot of times I'll get the yes, you know.
Sure.
Or no answer at all.
We've had different experiences where, you know, during an investigation, you get a certain audio response or verbal response, and it's like, all right, well, you ask that, are you human, or are you a spirit guide, are you an elemental, right?
Yeah.
We've asked that, you know, to trying to and like you said, ultimately, whatever response you get, ultimately you don't know, right? You're going by
what they say.
So
hopefully it doesn't get too freaky for us, and they're respectful. That's the main thing. As long as they are respectful, then I'm good with whatever they are. And I think that this whole I call it spirit research. I don't like to say ghost hunting.
Right.
Because spirit research, you're actually researching the spiritual side of things.
Right. Yeah, I agree with that wholeheartedly. You know, when we first started, it was more, you know, a little bit of the term ghost hunting, but it, you know, it quickly changed. And when we had a few experiences, and it's like, you know, it was more of a serious than just more of a hobby type of thing.
Yeah, exactly. And now we're talking about the possibility, like we were talking about on Marie's show last night. She was talking about how we don't know. We're looking at someone in a different timeline, you know, and they're just kind of like mixing with our timeline, but not necessarily. They're not really a ghost, but maybe we're a ghost to them.
So speaking to that, so Bobby Gallo, he turned us on, you know, because what I'm kind of personally, I don't know about you, that book about the Errt project, you know, reading that and those anomalies, like it's fascinating to me. And then reading that book, talking about the different, like a little bit above our planes, the different, you know, if there's, you know, whatever you think, if there's different alternate timelines or veils or, dimensions. It talked about in there, how are those orbs or spirit anomalies? They're not, they actually, the way it was read by the author was that they fluorescence to kind of create their own light. And that's what they're actually crossing from, where their veil or their plane into our visible spectrum of light.
Mm-hmm.
And that's why you see them. Sometimes you see it. And we have one that we captured down in Montgomery House down in North Carolina with Chris and Audra from EVPE. And it's flashing. You see it. Audra's doing an investigation, is doing a Q&A, and she steps back, and then you see an anomaly. It comes flashing in and out. And it's the same thing. It's just like the Gettysburg one. It's that perfect round cylinder, see-through, but it's flashing. Like, same thing. It's like, I don't know what dust does that. And where it disappears now, I know it because it was captured on the full spectrum camera. That's where most of the anomalies those were caught on the full spectrum camera. So what part of the plane are they coming from, or existence?
It makes more questions as far as I'm concerned.
And that's what kind of drives you to do more investigations, to try and hopefully ask the right questions.
But see, the thing that I would like to try, all right, now I tried to do, like I mentioned to you before in chat, I think that we all travel at night when we go to sleep. Right. I think we all travel. Why, I don't know. What the purpose of it is exactly, I'm not sure. But I think we do travel every night. Everyone does. Some people don't remember, obviously.
I don't remember. I mentioned that. She doesn't sleep that much. If she gets 3 hours, that's probably good.
Yeah, I get like 4 hours. And
once I'm out, it's like.
And the problem with me is that with my ADHD and whatever else I have, it keeps me kind of always thinking about stuff, all the time. When I'm working on computers and either building them or repairing them, for myself or whatever, my mind is always thinking about that job to get it done.
Mm-hmm.
And I can never get to sleep unless I get everything done, get it all done, then I can go to sleep.
Mm-hmm.
And then it's 6 o'clock in the morning. I gotta wake up.
Right. Yeah,
Not
mine
that
might shut off.
Yeah, I don't have to do anything. I just have to wake up at 6 o'clock for some reason. So, but I take a sleeping medication, and it's a generic brand of that type, and it works really good for me for about 4 hours. And it's supposed to be about a 10-hour pill, and it works for me about 4 hours, and I take it a little bit late, about 1 o'clock, I guess, and then I go to sleep and I wake up at 5 or 6, sometimes.
Right.
And so I mean, that's just the way my mind works, I guess. But
so I see in chat RL has that kind of a statement that she never asks to speak to a particular spirit, but ask those who are present to, if they want to pass along a message. And that's a great point. We use, I know that we usually will ask, hey, we'll ask in general, or we'll ask that general kind of very similar to what they're saying, RL saying, as far as, is there somebody willing to come through and share a message? Is there a loved one that might be willing to come through and pass along a message?
Mm-hmm.
So we'll use different approaches just to see what type of, maybe one night that approach will work versus another night, asking a direct, hey, are you a specific person, place or thing type of question. So.
And they do have a sense of humor, though. I have asked them a few times. I said, well, if you're going to stay here, you're going to have to start paying rent, And of course, they just laugh. And you can't make us pay rent.
Right.
Yeah.
Now, they knew I would be.
Doesn't hurt to try, right? It doesn't hurt to ask.
That's right. They knew I was being silly. So they were laughing right along with me.
Right.
But my
So-
Paravox the other day, I put some salt lines in certain areas of the house here to try to control the activity of where they are. All right. I know that salt lines mainly deter the negative energy from crossing the salt line, right? So I have one on the bottom step of the stairs going upstairs, right? I got the whole step covered with salt. All right. I got salt land on the doorway going in from here to the hallway to the bathroom, and then I have the salt line between the kitchen and the dining room. And then I have some bowls set around with salt. And I didn't think anything about salt working for anything. I just thought that was made up crazy stuff, But it works. And on my Paravox, it said staircase, like they were upset that the salt was there.
Right.
And so what I told them, I said, well, if you really want to get into my room where I'm at, you have to go through the ceiling, or you have to go through the floor from the basement, or you have to go through the front of the house. And this is what I told them directly,
Right.
And so not that I'm not inviting them, mind you. I'm just explaining to them, don't be mad.
Right.
Just figure out how to go around it. Now, I'm not saying that was a negative entity, but that was something that couldn't figure out how to cross over to the salt line. And so it was maybe trying to get here to give me a message of some sort,
Mm-hmm.
And so when I run the One Radar app from Extreme Sense Paranormal app group, and the radar app will give me a location of, like, it'll tell you how close the energy is, and when it's a colored dot and it's right next to me on the radar, okay, sometimes it's right over me, which would be like right on top of me or right next to me.
Mhm.
And when I see them, I'll say, "Hey, spirits, what is your message?" And a lot of times they'll give me a one-word message after that. You've heard it, I think, on the show. And you'll hear the bathroom box will be an echo type sound.
Right.
And then the one-word message from the Extreme Sense radar thing will be a clear one word usually, whatever it needs to say. And so that's how I know it comes from that radar.
So I see Bobby's giving us the 9 minutes. So do we want to run, Bobby? Do you have those those other two clips that?
Oh yeah, I forgot we had.
What other two?
I thought you. So did you download? It was the Peach Field and then the Ritz.
Oh, all right, hold on.
So if you
I got
haven't downloaded
Ritz Theater
disembodied voice. Yep, you can play. And then which do you have the Peach Field one too?
Yeah, I got the Peach Field.
Which one? Is it the kind
I
of?
got both the Dead Bell Rapid Fire and the regular Dead Bell.
Okay, so yeah, if you want to end with those three, that'll be good. And you can do the Ritz Theater first.
Yeah, I hope I didn't talk too much.
No, you're good. No.
All right, hold up. All right, give me a second, everybody.
Yeah, you're good. So this is in the main theater where, like I said, Jenny and Jenny from Parasite Paranormal, we were there with them and investigating, and we get a disembodied actual two voices.
All right, writing down.
Did you just hear a voice back there? Zach? Like a girl?
Is there a girl here?
I know.
What was that?
That was like a. No, it was in there.
So that was wild. The first one, the run, it's the same girl's voice, but you hear it, but it's fainter, But that one, it was like right because Jenny and Carmella were sitting kind of right next to each other, and you hear it was like you hear it, it's like you actually heard it, and we all heard it. And I was a little bit away from them, but it was like breathing down their neck, so to speak.
And then you hear me, what was that?
Yeah, so that was pretty wild. So yeah, we've gotten some pretty good clips or good evidence from the Ritz Theater.
Yeah.
And
All
then
right, here's 2 of 3.
The lady attacks you. Zachary, are you the little boy who plays upstairs?
Ooh.
Right, I'm gonna play the pick 4 tomorrow.
Right?
Who was here in 1755? You just had lady attacks people. Up there, it's
Okay. All right. We got it. My hair is sticking straight up on my head. Okay. Can we not do that? Thank you. I can't look.
I my goosebumps are running. Your name is Albert? Hi, Albert.
You were just saying.
Did you just ring the bell for us? Right.
And then it went crazy.
yeah, I'm not thrilled.
Okay.
I'm not thrilled.
Oh, wow.
I think we should go back up.
Okay, Albert, let's bring our things. Albert, we're gonna leave you. We'll be back later.
We're gonna just leave everything down here, but
Leave the light off.
one second.
Oh, yeah. Oh, the bells are ringing. The bells are ringing.
Now we're running.
Now they're running.
I saw goosebumps. Oh, God.
They went all psychosomatic. So that was crazy. That was the second time. The first one, the next one that you're going to see, but that one, like it was. We've only gotten once or twice, but that was wild. Like it rang. Literally counted it like 22 or 23 times that bell rang. Like
Wow.
rapid fire. And then the crazy thing is that was the first time using that device. It stopped working after that. It was so it was burning like the electrical. So she went down, picked it up, and I have a clip of it, but she's like, it's burning, it's hot. It didn't work. So I contacted the vendor. I said, listen, one of two things. Either you sent me the thing malfunctioned, like the wiring of solder or something went bad, or the energy that rapid fired the bell 22 times caused it to malfunction. So needless to say, I sent it back to them, sent them video of it and everything. They sent it back to, and then they sent a replacement. They were good. So, and that's one where Richard, when they use that's the replacement bell, and we haven't had any issues with that, and it's worked perfectly fine. So
cool.
Now, so this happened after I did my EVP or my Q&A session, and then Bobby, you can go ahead and play that next one. So it's actually dead bell, and there's a same thing. There's an anomaly, orb that is caught in the basement in that same area where the dead bell is.
All right, here we go.
Well, you have to help us see you by touching these devices.
So you'll see a little arrow. You'll see the orb right there. I zoom in on it.
Yeah. Oh, wow.
And it's the same thing. While I was talking about it, pops into and quick flash into and out of view.
Looks like you have some structure in the center.
Oh, yeah, I mean it's completely white around the edges.
Yeah, but it looks like there's a center to it.
Yeah.
Touch the bell again, or touch the little green light next to it, or the cat ball.
It's flying around. I can see it.
Yeah.
There's actually, I went back. There's actually, that was the greatest one. There's like 3 more that come out of the same area.
Yeah, zip fast. Yeah.
And then the bell, actually, I said, if you want us to stay down there, can you ring the bell? And the bell rings. So that was, so
I like that.
We used that for like 50 minutes. I used it first with our group we were in the basement with. And then they came down and used it after. And then that's when they had the rapid fire. Then it stopped working after that. So
But what do you do when you're running out of the place and then you got to get all your equipment?
Well, that's what I said. Well, now I gotta go back down and get it. One of the ladies that was the caretaker, she's like, "I'm not afraid." I said, "All right, you go first." I made her go first, but then I went down with her and I got everything. But that it was hot. It wasn't on fire, but something was smelled.
I'd be almost like, nope, we're leaving it here. I'll buy more.
I was gutsy and I went down and got it.
All right.
So Todd and Camellia, where they can find you?
Oh yeah.
Yep. So we are
Shameless plug.
Shameless plugs. We are on TikTok and Instagram, 222 PIR on TikTok and Instagram, and we have that's it for right now. So it was more out of creation, just to kind of, this has meaning to us. The 222s, I know real fast. We started to talk about it, but how we came up with 222. We've been together since high school, and we've been together along, basically senior year. But 222 is balance, harmony, spiritual alignment. We've always had the number twos and twos, 222 resonated with us. Her birthday's August 2nd. My birthday's August 3rd. We're 12 hours apart.
Same year, you mean? Oh,
same year, yeah. So wow. I got the gloat for 12 hours. I'm 12 hours younger than her. But yeah, same exact year. We're just literally 12 hours apart. Same year.
Oh, so she's the older one.
Yes, I like the older ladies.
So she can say, respect your elders.
That's right. Or I always say I look much younger than you anyway, so it doesn't matter.
I don't age gracefully. She looks like she's still 29.
Right.
Right. Yeah, I can't say that anymore. I tried to say that for a while, and my beard gives me away. So
I hear you.
But
all
right, so
we appreciate the invite on the show. We had a great time.
Yeah, and you can always come back. You can be part of the Errt family. What we call
we appreciate it.
See, here's the bracelet.
Be right back.
Yes.
And so then see what it says, Ertlings. Oopie came up with that name for us. So
I see it, but wait, here's Todd.
Hold on.
Oh yeah, you got a hat.
We won't tell you where we got it, but we had a connection. We had a good connection.
Right, cool.
I forgot we had it. I was going to tell her to wear it for the show, but I forgot. So
right, well, good. At least you got it. Good. Yeah, so you can share that all around and show people that you're connected with us. And
absolutely.
Yeah, anytime you want to come back and do a show, or if you feel like you want to do a show, like a weekly show or something, and you want to talk about stuff like this and have guests on, let's talk about that. Maybe give that an opportunity. Opportunity. Right now I have, like, Saturday night is open. I know a lot of people work on investigations then.
Right.
But I mean, if you're bored and you ain't got nothing to do on a Saturday night, you wanted to set something up on a weekly type of thing,
Right.
Definitely let myself or Bobby know, and we can figure it out.
Very good.
You can have your own guests on here and have your have your own conversation, as long as you keep it family friendly, which I'm sure you do. So
we do.
Her coworker always, she's funny. She how Ron likes to joke?
Yeah.
Ron loves to joke. She's a jokester like Ron.
But I think you would have
coworkers always say, listen, you should do your own show. Just
yeah,
her.
and see, there you go. So now you got the invite. Now you got to decide to make it work or not. Don't be shy.
Yep.
Thank
you very much. Thank you, Ufi. It was good seeing you. Thanks for being in the chat. So
thank
you for everybody. Thank you,
RL and Anthony and Jenny and the crew.
Yeah.
Yep. Thank you all.
You have a lot of followers.
Maureen was here.
Yep.
And Genghis Khan was here.
Yep. Thank you to all.
Genghis Khan, a great Chinese dictator.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's who that is. You know that, right?
Yep.
Yeah,
Mhm.
yeah. But yeah, we really appreciate it, and thank you very much. And we look forward to meeting you
All
in
right.
Gettysburg.
Yeah, you're welcome. And I'll have some extra wristbands if you guys want some.
Yeah, absolutely.
And,
Absolutely.
And then you have to wear it everywhere you go and say, "Hey, look."
We will. Absolutely.
And yeah, but we're not afraid to talk. You know, sometimes I'll talk too much because, well, I get so excited when I have real live guests on. You know, it's like, oh boy, I got a live person on there. I'm not talking to myself. A lot of times I'm sitting there talking, Bobby's going to sleep, and I'm talking to myself. But
we appreciate
people
it.
are still, yeah, people are
And
still listening.
we enjoy sharing it because, and we're enthusiastic because, you know, we had when we first went on EVPE, like same thing. I sent you all that. Like we had, you know, aside from just sharing it with us. So, and we want feedback because we're learning. Like we want to learn. You know, hey, why is this? Can you help us out? Explain to, you know, do you think this is actual, you know, good evidence and, you know, kind of.
See, I still use the ghost box. I have my ghost box that I have, and I was running it actually the other night when we had all that lightning here, and that thing was going crazy, and I had to turn it off because it was just not working right. And it must have been the electricity in the air, you know, the lightning, and so I turned it off. But I still heard noises without the ghost box, right? So, but most of the time I just ignore stuff, and
Me too.
and I know it's there, and they're not hurting me right now.
That's what I say. I always say, if you're not scared, you're fine.
You know, I was telling Todd earlier about a scar I have on my arm, which you'll have to wait till I show you in person. You can look at the scar and see what I'm talking about. I can show you some pictures of it if I can find out where they are again. But this was a deep cut on my arm. I don't know how I got it. I didn't scratch myself like that.
Right.
And just all of a sudden it appeared on my arm. And it looks bad on my first pictures of it.
Right.
And then now it has a scar there, which you can still see there was a cut there.
Right.
But it wasn't there, and then all of a sudden it appeared. This was like my second year here at the house. So maybe it was somebody that was angry at me being here. I don't know.
Possibly, yeah.
You never know.
I never had anything else happen physically like that again. So that was the only time.
Yeah, that is a good thing.
I mean, I had someone tapping on me, like a 10-year-old boy tapping me on my elbows. You know, that's about it. That was funny. He tapped me on my left elbow. I looked to my left, and I got the wall there. And by the time I'm looking at my left, he's tapping me on my right elbow, and I'm looking that way, and he's, of course, there ain't nothing there.
Right.
And then I hear him running away and laughing.
That made his day.
Yeah. But yeah, I have a few spirits here that I have been friends with for a long time, and they're peaceful for the most part. The guy in the basement that builds things all the time.
Yeah. All right.
Okay, last hard question.
If you had to throw in a hard question, what do you think?
The full moon.
I think that has something to do with it. This the solar flare that just happened.
Oh yeah, I mean, even people.
Yeah.
It's been a weird day.
Yeah. I mean, like we had internet problems. Everyone had internet problems everywhere.
Right.
You know,
Right.
it's like, oh, my internet dropped out, or oh, whatever. It's like,
I think yeah, I don't know.
I don't know about seasons, but
I think if everything is energy, right? Seasons are energy. So if we come from energy, right? Then I would think that at some point, not per se what we perceive spring, summer, fall, winter, seasonal, but I think it's in theory, yes, they can, they might very well, that energy could be affected by something in the universe, consciousness or, that whatever the energy may be.
Now, real quick, going along with that last question, and we can think about this for the next time or later on when we talk. Do you think that like Halloween, do you think that amps up the activity, or is it our imagination that it's more active?
That's a good question. I think so. I don't think it's our imagination.
Okay.
I feel like it's like their time, like, oh, they can get away with it. Like, just,
Right, that's right. That's what I think.
Mm-hmm.
All right, and Goofy, enough questions, please.
Okay, really, the last one.
We opened up a can of worm. We opened Pandora's box. Is there an equivalent of a planetary system in the ghost realm?
That's a good question.
That's a good question. Oofy, you're making, it's after midnight here. I don't know what time it is.
Todd and Carmela, now you're going to have to come up with a platform of what you want to do. So you can come up with your own set of things you want to talk about afterlife, talk about the spirit research, talk about whatever you want to talk about. But think about what your platform wants to be. It can be the spiritual stuff we're talking about now. It could be talking about equipment that you use. I use dowsing rods,
Right.
I use dowsing rods for gold hunting or gold prospecting, and I use dowsing rods for spirit research, which is interesting because it still does the same thing.
Right.
And I'm not moving them. I'm not moving them with my hands either. Trust me.
I have them too. I have them. I don't use them often, but I do have them.
Yeah. But yeah, so consider what you might use for a platform, and figure out what day you could actually do a show, and we'll have to talk. We'll have to talk about this, and it'll be on my channel here on Errt Radio, of course.
Definitely.
But you have a lot of people that are interested in what you have to say, so I think you'd have an instant following.
Yeah.
Appreciate it. Thank you
All
very
right,
much.
so thank you, Camellia and Tom. We went about over. I'm supposed to be doing some stuff right now.
All right, well,
trying to get off. Sorry,
All right. Yeah.
No, we won't blame Woofy.
Such a pleasure to talk to. I can't
Thank you very much. Appreciate you both. Thank you very much.
Thank you. Bye.
Have a good one.
All right. Good night.
Good night.
All right.
All right. Thank you, Bobby.
I'm trying to do a show. The pros reminding you that you should continue listening and watching to Errt Radio on your favorite device on Mixer, Podbean, YouTube, Facebook, Trovo, Odyssey, and Rumble. And donate while you can by going to ertradio.com and hit that big PayPal button. Because if you do that, I'll come on my spaceship. I'm going to beat you up, and you better pray to your God because you know what's going to happen to you in your wallet. Thank you for watching.
All right. Well, thank you, Bobby, for staying up late. Sorry we went a little bit long. We can ramble. We can ramble all night. But we might not say a whole lot of anything. Oofy, thank you for the hard questions. All right. We'll see everybody on the next one then. All right. So have a great rest of your night. And hey, if you have nice weather, get up there and enjoy it. And if you can see...
Oh, don't be saying that because the following week, we're going to be having some storms.
Oh, no.
Following week.
You might not want to get out there then. All right. But some other people might have some nice weather though. Okay. So what is that private? That's that link you were talking about. Okay. All right. All right. Good deal then. We are out of here, Bobby. Go ahead and close it up.
All right. Thank you for watching. Yes.
You got it, or you want me to?